All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a little bit more review for our not web design, for our computer science final here for Python. So one of the things I wanted to review with you real quick is for loops. It's one of the fundamentally most important concepts in any programming language is how to use a loop. And we learned a couple of different ways. So what we're going to do first, we'll review the different ways you're going to write a for loop. So we'll say for x in range. And we'll say that we'll just do 5 to make it simpler. So then what you can do, you can just print x. Again, since we don't have really any other stuff in here, we're simplifying our print statements. It's fine. So for this one, what we do is remember in computer, when you say 5, you get 0 through 4. So if you want to do this a little bit differently, we're going to copy our statement here. And we'll do it a second way. For x in range 1 to 5, we're going to get something a little different. So our first one, we get 0 to 4. Our second one, we get 1 to 4. So remember that when we put 5, it's not inclusive. So I'm going to put a comment in there so you can remember, hopefully. So you can remember that the highest number on there is not included in our stuff. So if you wanted to count to 5, you would actually have to put a 6 right here. Oop, not 65. So we're going to count from 1 to 5. So when we do that, you see we have 1 to 5 right there. So those are the couple of different ways that you've done that for our for loops. This is something that's very, very functional and can very much help you in your exam. So let's go ahead and we're going to do one more quick example here. So we're going to count to 10. We're going to count from 1 to 10 more specifically. So we can actually reuse this because it is very similar, right? So we would change this to be in the range 1 to 11, and then that would actually get us what we want. So when we hit the run here, there is our 1 through 10 right there. So now we actually have a couple of other options in here. So we're going to, in this case, count from 1 to 20 by 2s. So if we just reuse our loop again, we want from 1 to 20. So that would be 1 to 21 down here. And we want to go up by 2s with our third number, 1 to 20 in increments of 2. And this should get us what we require. And there it is, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. There you go. You can see that we count by 2s. So that's just one other way that you can do this. So now let's do one more way where we can concatenate or put our number with our text. So we're going to say count to 10 with text in print. And again, we can go ahead and just paste our for loop. We want to count from 1 to 11 since we're counting by, remember, our top number is not included. So now we want to print we'll just put the number in there. So remember, whenever you have text in here, if you were to run this, this would be an error. Remember, you need the str to turn your X back into a number. Also note, or back into text to print out. Also note the double parentheses at the end. That is going to be a thing that is required. So now with this, you see number 1 through number 10, just like that in our terminal. So that is one other way to do this. So as one last example in here, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to put a couple of those just as essentially just as a barrier between all of our different code. What we're going to do is we're going to first ask our number. So N1 is going to be our number. And then remember, when you ask for inputs, you need the word input. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a number input from our user, and we're going to ask them to enter one, and we'll say 30. So remember also, input is not enough. So whenever you have the word number, you need to have a data type. So in this case, it's going to be int, because we want just a whole number between 1 and 30. So this is going to be our input. We've done this a number of times before, just as a quick reminder. So we're going to ask how many days are left in the month. We're going to assume that there's 31 days in said month, just for the sake of argument. So then we're going to do a little bit of math. And this is actually not necessarily a for loop, but this is going to be relevant. So we are going to then say that we have a couple of things left. So we want str. We're going to do a little math. 31 minus N1 is going to be our number, and then that'll be how many days left in the month. Hopefully I spelled that right. So we're assuming there's 31 days in a month. Our user's entering a number 1 to 30. So this should show us. So as we go and we enter a number 1 to 30, we'll say that we want 15. And there should be 16 days left in the month. If we run it again and we enter 30, there'll be 1 day left in the month. So that is a solid review of some skills that you'll need. Some for loops, and then some just a regular print that we did at the end here with a little math. Use these skills for your exam. Good luck.